Hi, traders, and welcome to the PL Capital Market Review. Today is Friday, February 23rd. Market is now closed for the week. In this video, we're going to look at the S&P, Nasdaq, and the Russell. So let's start. All right, start with the upcoming economic calendar. And this will be a very impactful week. Monday, you just got some new home sales. I don't expect that to do a whole lot. Tuesday, you got durable goods and some more home price. You do have consumer confidence on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, you got GDP. And then I think the big one, Friday, is core PCE. I think that'll be just really massive after the last CPI number that came out. So for right now, the previous was a month over month was a 0.2 increase, and they're calling for a 0.4 increase. So if that increases, that's obviously not going to make the market very happy. So, and then we got some personal income and spending number, the jobless claims. The PC year over year now is actually supposed to decrease, which is kind of interesting. So 2.6 down to 2.4. So interesting numbers. And then got ISM for manufacturing on Friday, along with the Michigan consumer sentiment. So, yeah, Thursday will be the big day. Keep an eye on that. All right, let's go on to the chart. This is the 4-hour chart of the S&P futures contract. And last week we were up here, made a new high. I saw 5 waves, and I was wondering if, from that October low, I'm looking for 3 waves up, and I've always been thinking that was A, B, and then I was looking for the 5 waves. And all they did is give a 3-wave correction, and then with Nvidia, exploded up. So that blows my count, my wave count. So now I'm looking at this, and I'm wondering instead if this whole thing is just a big leading diagonal, which means there's going to be a lot more up to go. So instead of A, B, I think this could be 1. That was 2. This 5-wave move was, 1, 2, 3. I think we just finished 3. So what I want to see is a sell-off down into like 5,023, maybe even down to just under 5,000. Somewhere in here in 3 waves. But then somewhere around here it needs to hold. And then that would be 4. Go back up for 3. Break the top again. That would be 5. Now we have got our leading diagonal correction, and then still one more up, and then that will end this whole. I can't see it on this chart, but if you go to like the continuous contract, then that's when we'll have the big correction. So that is what I see now. That we still have more to go. Now we're going to have a pretty sizable correction here. What is that? It's going to be 2.5. I guess I should pull it from the top. From the top that they made today, yeah, about 3% correction here. Like I said, if they do come down in 3 waves and this area can hold, I think that's just 4, and we're still going back up. So now they did start to sell off today when they made that new high. So we could be underway to make that correction down. So this is the area to keep an eye on if it can hold. If not, Gonna have to revisit my count, but it doesn't look, I don't see a complete three-wave structure up here. So that's why I'd like to see it correct down for 4 and still go back up for 5. All right, let's go on to Nasdaq. All right, so the Nasdaq, they made that correction and they didn't get down into this zone that I would have liked to see. Now, it's always going to happen when you're in a very strong market, and especially when Nvidia reports and things just go haywire. So they came close to this zone. I thought they would get down to like 17,224, but they didn't. So we can take that off now. So when I zoom out on this, I think what happened here is we do have 5 waves up, and I think they made that ABC correction, and then one more up. So I think this whole thing, this leading diagonal, I think that was A, correction down for B, and then strong up for C. But I don't think that's going to be all. I'm looking for 3 waves, so we do have 3 waves. But I think what's going to happen is that's that ABC. When you got that strong of a move up, that's just going to be the A wave. Get a 3-wave move down into 17.2, maybe down to 17,000. Get a 3-wave move down, and then still one more up, and then all in all that'll be an ABC, and then that'll complete the Nasdaq. It's a big, massive leading diagonal from the 22 low. So I want to see the reaction that this gives. So if we zoom in, want to see if this holds and if they reverse it back up, because then this wave, this C wave, might not be done yet. They might be making an ending diagonal here. So let's see, we'll have that answer next week, or early next week, because if that holds, then that's just a 1, 2, 3, and then that tells me that that's just going to be like the first wave of this C wave, and then they'll give you a 2 and go back up for a 3, a 4, and a 5. So it'll be going up, but in probably a diagonal format. So keep an eye on this area, which at most I think maybe 17,850, let's say. If that area can hold in 3 waves and then they go back up and break that high, then there's going to be an ending diagonal in play. But if this really gathers steam, and so that's why I just think that the PCE number coming out is going to be, it's going to be a real catalyst one way or the other. If it is a hot number, then we go down, and I think we'll easily come down and get to that 17.2 level. But if it's not, then we're probably in some type of diagonal format going back up. So be ready for volatility when that number comes out. And the Russell to me looks like they're making a flat here. So I think this is 1, and that is 2. And now they should be going back up to not only break that high that they set on Thursday, the 15th, but go and break the what day was it? December high. Because if that's 1 and that's 2, then 3 will be up here, and then you'll come down for a 4 and go back up for a 5. And then you're just going to have a big A, B, and then that'll be a C wave going up. So two key levels to watch on the Russell: 1982, 2062. One of those has to break to tell us what the pattern is. If I'm right that this is a running flat in here, then 1982 can't break. If they come and break below that, then this is something else. There is a possibility that this whole thing, I think this is 5 waves up to here, but it could be that it's just 3. And if it's 3, then that's 1, 2, 3, 4. But I don't see 3 waves up for this one. That's the problem. Because I was thinking that this could be a leading diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then maybe that could be like an ABC. And then they go back up. But the problem is this wave here is just straight up. I don't see 3 waves. If anything, there's just a little correction there. Almost like a 1, 2, and then a 3, 4, 5. That I only see 5 waves, and it's very, very impulsive. I mean, I don't see it as a 3-wave correction. So if it was a diagonal, that would have to be 3 waves. So I think this is a running flat. So let's see. These are your 2 key levels. Obviously, if this continues up and they break that, then this is a running flat, and they're going up for the 3rd wave, and you get a correction for 4 and still up for 5. But if this breaks, 1982, then we'll have to revisit it, because then unless this is like a big, some kind of like WXY correction, then they might be coming all the way down and making a very big, some kind of like A, B, C, or WXY kind of structure before they go back up. And then I just want to show NVIDIA. So I shared this with the people in Discord. Go to a 4-hour chart. That we're in the 5th wave now. The big 5th wave, as I see it, for NVIDIA. Go out to a daily. So, got like a 1, 2, there's a 3, 4, and then we're in the 5th wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we've come in, obviously made a new high. So we're in the 5th wave. At any moment now, NVIDIA is going to make a correction. But so now the only question is, go down to a 1-hour chart. Is this all of the 5th wave? I mean, it's very vertical, hasn't been corrected. I'm kind of leaning that it's just the 1st wave of the 5th wave, and they're going to give, they've already started now, some type of correction, see how deep it is, and that'll kind of tell us what the format is. But, so like a 1, probably come down for 2, and then, it'll either be a impulse or an ending diagonal for this 5th wave. But I kind of feel that 823 might not be the top. They did hit a target, like a preliminary target for the 5th wave, so that's already been hit, so it could be in. There just seems to be so much optimism that I could see like just getting like a little correction, maybe a little bit more, mid 700s, and then you're going to still catch another wave up. So let's see. But obviously, I mean, if this sells off and breaks 662, then we know that the 5 waves are in, and NVIDIA is going to be making a much bigger correction that'll last, I would assume, probably months. But I don't know if NVIDIA is there yet for that to happen. So just something to be mindful of. And so that kind of lines up with where I'm thinking, like on the Nasdaq, that they might be correcting down, but they still got one more wave up, and that would kind of line up with what I see in not only on Nvidia but some of the other, like Microsoft and AMD, Alphabet, some of the other stocks too. I don't quite see them being done with their fifth waves. So that kind of lines up with what I think is going to be happening here in the Nasdaq correction and still more up. All right, that's the market as I see it. Hope it helps. Thanks for your likes and support, and I will see you in the next video.